bigger are round, and objects any smaller are irregular shaped. And no model of moons or planets would ever suggest that there should be any activity on this place. It was supposed to be just a dead ice ball.
Rock, right? Yeah.
And instead they found geysers coming from its south pole, water crystals that are pouring into space.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was a geyser that. Yeah. In a crack in the southern hemisphere, southern pole, or something like that. That the geyser, and it feeds one of Saturn's rings, apparently. The geyser
Yes.
coming out of Enceladus. Right.
The E ring, actually. And they just discovered some of the other rings are actually created and shaped by small little moonlets that either break up or interact with that and create all sorts of fascinating looking shapes in these rings.
Sure. Yeah, there's a lot to discover, I would say, in the outer solar system. And it would be interesting if we could get more missions out there, especially with a lot of our robotic capability is getting pretty advanced now.
Yes, it is.
And we would have much better success. Now, Cassini did land a probe on Titan. The Huygens probe.
Yes.
And I was kind of disappointed in that one because it didn't last too long. Did it last even an hour on the surface of Titan? I'm unsure.
It may have lasted longer. What held back that mission was actually all of its forwarding information came through Cassini, so there was only a limited time that Cassini was going to be in view of the lander so that it could relay the information.
So if, say, Cassini would have went in orbit around Titan, perhaps Huygens could have continued to transmit data for a longer period of time, is what you're saying.
That's correct. But it was enough data to be very tantalizing and to really push forward a new, there's proposals now for a new flagship mission that will focus on Titan and Enceladus, a return to Saturn, if you will.
Sure.
Even though Cassini is still working great and working fine now, but they're already thinking about the next generation.
Right. I see a question in the Ustream channel here about what kind of problems needed to be solved ahead of time that perhaps you were involved in. Now, you did mention how it was like finding a needle in a haystack, the descent of the Phoenix lander, and I did bring up a picture from the HiRISE site for everyone tuning in right now. And as you can tell, this is like finding a needle in a haystack. It shows it's the picture of the big crater. Richard, in case you're viewing it, and to see, pouring over the images and trying to find that little couple pixels in the image, I can see how that is quite a challenge. Now, anything else that your division, the HiRISE division there, did help out with as far as the planning stages? Some problems that had to be worked out.
Well, one of the reasons why orbiters are useful is because when a lander lands, it doesn't necessarily know right away where it landed. And so through a variety of procedures, for example, like triangulating the Doppler signal that the lander itself sends off, and also taking actual images of the lander on the surface, we're able to figure out exactly where it is. Now the lander itself will probably be able to, along with the help of engineers, of course, figure out within a few hundred meters where it is on the surface of Mars, really narrow it down. We are going to begin to use them actually as ground truth. While our camera is pointed very well at the surface of Mars, there is some uncertainty measured in 500 and more meters. So we're going to be able to use that, the lander itself, to actually improve our own targeting, which is a really nice contribution from them.
Sure.
And before the landing, of course, the engineers at JPL were working out the geometry of this. In this case, we actually had to twist the spacecraft. The MRO spacecraft is able to turn side to side, so it can get angled images of the surface, but it also needed to do a bit of a twist on that to get this very oblique view of Phoenix. That's what we were hoping. And so the engineers worked out, and the telemetry experts and all those people, they actually worked out all of these details, and then we took our chance and tried to actually view it, And to tell you the truth, I mean, the first few hours, after about 4 hours had gone by, the reason why people went home is we thought we had missed it.
Oh.
And so then I just decided to stick around because we hadn't received all of the image yet, and so we just wanted to look through the last few pieces that we didn't have, and that's where it was.
And that's where it was. So you look through everything, and I've seen many times in life things happen like that. You look and look and look, and the last couple of things, that's where you find it. I just have another picture here from the high-rise site. I thought this was a really neat photo as well. Looking directly down on top of the lantern, looks like, I don't know, a little three-leaf clover, maybe.
Yeah, it's almost like a toy there on the surface.